At the edge of a forgotten valley, morning spoke through the trees. In the hush between bird calls and breeze, the forest waited and listened. A young woman named Elara moved through the underbrush, gathering herbs. Just a few more sprigs of thyme, then home. She knelt, her fingers brushing dew from wildflower petals. Suddenly, the forest hummed not with wind, but a low, melodic vibration that trembled through the leaves. A distant, airy whisper called her name, Elara ... She froze, searching the branches, but no wind stirred. The wind, she murmured to herself, half smiling. It's only the wind. But her expression lingered with quiet wonder, as if something inside her already knew better. When morning returned, so did she. Curiosity is a route that always finds its way back to light. She placed her palm on the bark of an ancient oak. The surface rippled faintly, veins of green light traveling beneath her fingers. A layered, ancient voice whispered, "Child of wind." "We remember," Elara gasped, stumbling backward. The tree creaked, its roots shifting like waking limbs. No threat hid in that sound-only age, sorrow and the ache of memory. Her fear gave way to awe as leaves swirled gently around her, a silent welcome. She returned to her village, to a cottage lit by firelight, where the herbs of her trade hung from the rafters. She sat before Elder Rowan, his lined face carrying both wisdom and guilt. "It called my name, Elder," she said, her voice trembling. "The trees, they spoke." Rowan's face grew grave. "Some voices are not meant for mortal ears. You must not go back." But Elara persisted. "But if the grove is in pain enough," he cut her off. "Some roots dig too deep into sorrow." That night, sleep eluded her. Through her window, the forest shimmered under moonlight, breathing, beckoning. In her sleep, shadows of branches crawled across the walls. Her bed transformed into a forest floor, and roots coiled around her wrists, not in malice, but in plea. Beneath her, the earth opened to reveal a pulsing stone heart, cracked with light. The whispers returned, a layered chorus, "Find the buried heart. Heal us." The light grew until it engulfed her, and she jerked awake, breathing hard. Morning light streamed through her window, and a faint trace of soil stained her palms. "It wasn't just a dream," she murmured. "Resolve is a quiet thing. It hums beneath fear, steady as a heartbeat." Elara returned to the grove under grey, rainy skies. As she followed the path, tiny lightswallow wisps appeared ahead, hovering above the moss. "If you wish to be found, then lead me." She stepped after them, deeper between the trunks. The lights guided her to a hidden glade encircled by colossal trees, their branches intertwined to form a vaulted ceiling of leaves. The air was thick with silver mist, and the ground glowed faintly green. There, beyond the veil of rain and root, the forest held its breath for the one who had come to listen. The mist cleared, revealing the glade's heart, a moss-covered altar of cracked white stone. Raindrops glimmered on her lashes. "You've waited, haven't you?" she whispered. Her fingertips grazed the strange glyphs etched on its surface, and a surge of light flashed outward. A vision flooded her mind, ancient guardians chanting, a younger, proud Rowan placing his hand on the altar. "Forgive me, Sylvane," his voice echoed. "It is the only way." An ethereal spirit with eyes of light pleaded, "Without me, the forest will wither." A burst of green lightened, then darkness. The vision collapsed, leaving Elara kneeling before the altar, tears mingling with rain. The forest had been bound not by hatred, but by fear. The wound of that choice lingered through centuries. He sealed her. Elara choked out, "Elder Rowan." He sealed the forest's heart. As she spoke, shadows stretched and twisted, gathering into a form of smoke and thorn. A shade emerged, its eyes burning amber. "You see now," it rasped. "He feared your mother's gift. He chained me here, left me to die." The wind howled as Elara's eyes widened, the revelation piercing deeper than any thorn. Thunder cracked, lightning illuminated the glade, each flash revealing the shade closer, twisting, trembling. Roots burst from the soil, circling Elara's ankles. "I don't want to fight you," she said firmly. The shade's voice wavered between rage and sorrow. "Then listen. Set me free or join me in decay." What she saw was not evil, but pain made flesh the forest's sorrow-given voice. Her fear was replaced by compassion. She took a breath, steadied herself, and stepped forward. The glade became a tempest. Elara knelt, pressing both palms into the soil. "I will not let you die in silence." Green light spread from her hands like roots of light. The shade hesitated, then lunged. She rose, lifting her arms as vines of light swirled upward, wrapping the shade in a brilliant cocoon. Light met shadow, not as enemies, but as truth reclaiming memory. The storm halted mid-motion. Raindrops hung like crystals as a blinding light burst from the altar. Sylvane, the grove spirit, rose, her form woven of light, roots, and wind. "You have done what your forebears could not," Elara Windfern, her musical voice declared. "You listened." The cocoon dissolved, the shade's form melting back into Sylvane's chest. "I was never anger," she said softly, "only the echo of grief." The forest exhaled. For the first time in a century, it remembered how to breathe. The rain turned to luminous gold, and where it fell, flowers bloomed. Where pain once rooted deep, life began again. The grove no longer whispered in sorrow, it sang in joy. Dawn broke, and Elder Rowan approached, his steps hesitant. "I felt it, the light." The grove breathes again. Elara turned, framed by the morning sun. "She forgave you." Rowan's face faltered. "I feared her power. I bound the grove to save our people, but I only condemned it." Elara's voice was gentle. "The forest forgives, Elder. Can you forgive yourself?" Soon villagers returned along winding paths, their fear replaced by faith. They knelt in the glade, touching the soil reverently as children laughed. At twilight, Elara knelt by the altar and planted a sapling, its roots glowing softly. May you remember Usu's spirit and mortal, bound in trust. Sylvane materialized behind her. This grove shall carry your name, Elara of wind and fern, and may no voice ever be silenced again. Years later, travelers walked the forest path. They paused as sunlight filtered through the leaves, every tree humming with a melodic vibration. In time, the tale of the Whispering Grove became legend. They said the trees spoke at dawn not in fear, but in memory. They reached the grove's heart, where a grand, crystal-like tree rose above all others. A lone figure walked among the ferns, her hair braided with silver. She touched the bark of the great tree, a soft smile on her lips. I'm still listening, and so the forest lives not in silence, but in song. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Whispering Grove. If this story moved you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more tales from magical worlds. We'll see you next time.